Here we are, guys, in part 19 of this story. In the land of waves, our favorite blonde encounters the Kyuubi. Watch the subsequent events unfold as Naruto uses the power that was sealed inside of him on the day of his birth. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Now, let's begin. What? These are, yep, the ramen recipes of the Uzumaki, said Naruto, showing that black book to Teuchi upon arriving back in Konoha. I know. But every ramen chef has thought these recipes lost. I can't believe I'm actually holding them, replied Teuchi, reading through the recipes. Teuchi couldn't stop shaking his hands and he was practically crying at the fortune that had just presented itself. Where did you get these? I kind of found them in my great-grandfather's locker in Nozoshiogaku no Sato, said Naruto. Teuchi's eyes picked up by Naruto's mentioning of a family member. Naruto had never actually referred to an actual family member in the past. So you know, don't you? Said Teuchi, reaching under his counter into a locked drawer. Yeah, Uro-sen told me, said Naruto. But how do you know? I've known you were their child. Back before you were born, those two were practically inseparable and they were two of my best customers. I knew your mother was pregnant with a child, and after I saw you for the first time, after you told me your name, I began to put the pieces together, explained Teuchi. Besides, you look just like him. I'm surprised no one else has figured out. Yeah, but they probably just saw me for what was inside me, said Naruto, lowering his head. Teuchi gave Naruto a few reassuring words. So do you think you can make those recipes for me, old man? These are some of the greatest ramen recipes in history. Of course I'll make them. Who wouldn't? I'm just honored that you're letting me be the one to make them, said Teuchi. Well, Ichiraku is the best, so who else would make them the way they are supposed to be besides you? Said Naruto, smiling. Just for that, I'll make you a bowl on the house. For the Uzumaki recipes though, I need to get the ingredients, but I promise you'll be the first to have a bowl of Ichiraku's new Uzumaki-style ramen, said Teuchi, plopping down a bowl of Naruto's favorite ramen. Ah, there you are. Why am I not surprised, said Jiraiya, entering Ichiraku to find Naruto. Come on, now's no time for ramen. We've got to go see Tsunade and tell her about the events that happened. Naruto groaned while leaving the stand, but not before Teuchi handed Naruto a familiar blue book. That was your mother's. She actually completed it about 4 months before you were born at my shop, said Teuchi, handing Naruto his mother's ramen passport before he left. None of what you're saying is very comforting, Jiraiya, said Tsunade. Naruto and Jiraiya were in Tsunade's office, describing the confrontation they had with the Sound and Kabuto. And the worst part is that I'm certain we kept them from getting access to the archives, but I've still got a feeling that Kabuto managed to find something. He had that look, said Jiraiya. I know what you mean. Orochimaru's always been a slimy bastard, always managing to get away with something no matter how much we try and stop him, said Suwant. Anyways, we don't have any leads on where Orochimaru may be hiding, so unfortunately all we can do now is sit back until your spy network uncovers something. Yeah, anyways, we actually made some good progress before Kabuto's intervention. I did tell Naruto what I said I was going to say and we actually discovered something about his heritage that was surprising, said Jiraiya. Tsunade's eyebrow raised in interest. The brat here is actually the great-great-grandson of the Shodai Hokage, Shuichi Uzumaki. Really? Said Tsunade. You know, I've gotten to the point where nothing about him would surprise me anymore, and yet he still surprises me. Hey, that's not all. Check out the goodies we found, said Jiraiya, unsealing a scroll, revealing the Uzumaki Shio no Ken that they uncovered in the lockers. Is that? Said Tsunade, her eyes widening. Yep, the Uzumaki Shio no Ken. The famed sword of the Uzumakis that was thought lost decades ago, said Jiraiya. Tsuan unsheathed the sword and looked on in amazement. This was definitely the sword of the Uzumakis. And Uro-sen said he'd teach me Kenjutsu, exclaimed Naruto. Tsuan got a laugh out of that. What's so funny, Bakken? Nothing, brat. Just you, the sword type. I don't see it, said Tsunade, trying to control her laughter. Jiraiya and Shizun's sweat dropped as they knew all too well what was coming. Oh yeah. Well, I think I am, exclaimed Naruto. I know you're not and I'm willing to bet you're not, said Tsunade. Fine. This just means that I am the sword type. After all, you're not too good at winning bets, Bakken, said Naruto. Alright brat, if you can come back after your training trip and honestly tell me that you prefer fighting with the sword after your couple of years with this old pervert, then I'll admit that perhaps you're the sword type and I'll even buy you a month's supply of ramen. And if not, well, you've still got a lot of money left from our last casino adventure, so if you're not, then you owe 7,000 Rio, said Tsunade. Just enough for a case of my favorite sake. Fine, you've got a bet, Bakken. I'm going to enjoy an entire month of free ramen when I get back, "Dbio!" exclaimed Naruto, shaking Tsunade's hand, sealing the bet. Jiraiya coughed. Tsunade snapped back out of Vegas. "Anyways, how was the progress with the sealing research?" asked Tsunade. "Good. I might have found something, but I need to discuss that with you since it's a type of medical seal," said Jiraiya. Tsunade nodded. "Also, Naruto's made some pretty good progress. He's actually more than proficient with storage seals, and we started explosive seals. For a month's time, he's come really far." "Good. I look forward to seeing how far he's come in the exams coming up in 3 weeks, assuming he can go," said Tsunade. "Huh? Why wouldn't I be able to go?" asked Naruto. "Because I can't get a hold of Kakashi or Sasuke, and knowing Kakashi, he'll show up the day after the exam starts," said Tsunade. Dealing with Kakashi's habitual tardiness was not the highlight of her career as Hokage. "Actually, that's where I would win the bet. I'm sure Kakashi will be back in 2 weeks' time," said Jiraiya. "Really? And why is that?" asked Tsunade. Jiraiya pulled a book out from his pack, a red-bound Icha book, the same one he finished at the beginning of their trip. "Is that more of your smut?" asked Tsunade. "It's not smut," defended Jiraiya. Naruto nodded with Tsunade, supporting her. "Anyways, my next book is scheduled to be released in 2 weeks' time, and if I know Kakashi, he'll be back in time for the release." "Sadly, I actually agree with you." "Alright, Naruto, you've got 2 weeks then until I order the reconvening of your team for the exam," said Tsunade. "Great. 2 weeks where I can train," said Naruto. "I've got to get this jutsu down so that you'll let me choose a rank win jutsu." "Haha, and who said you'd have time to train?" laughed Tsunade. "You've been gone for a month, training, and you're going to be gone for a few years, training." "Nope, I've got a mission for you, so report to my office tomorrow at 9 a.m. Naruto sighed and groaned as he left the office. His only hope now was to get the jutsu done while he was on his mission and then get the newbie rank jutsu and do nothing but focus on it until the Chunin exams. Jiraiya left the office as well, and Tsunade heard a knock on the door. Her 3 p.m. appointment was here. "Come in," she said. In stepped a man and what appeared to be his son. They both had pale eyes, marking them as Hyuga. "Ah, Hyuga Kenjo, and Hyuga Shinji, what can I do for you?" The elder Hyuga spoke up. "Hokage-sama. As you know, the Chunin exams are coming up in 3 weeks. While I understand that my son's team has not been nominated for the exams, his sensei did comment that Shinji here is in fact ready for the exams. I'd like to request that he be assigned to a temporary team for the purpose of taking the exams," said Kenjo. Tsunade thought for a moment. She didn't like dealing with Hyugas all that much, especially the main branch Hyuga. The branch members were fine and Hiyashi was tolerable, but the rest of the main branch was, well, arrogant and prideful as hell. "While I would like to honor your request, you are aware that teams consist of 3 members. And unfortunately, at this point in time, we don't have enough Shin'an where I can put together a 3-man squad for these exams. I understand that is how you usually approach these situations, gathering together 3 on Team Shin'an and forming a team from them. But is it not possible to place Shinji on a team that already has 2 members? I believe Team Asuma is short 1 member because of the promotion of Nara Shikamaru after the last exam," said Kenjo. "Damn," said Tsunade. She was hoping that Kenjo would just drop it there, although she knew he wouldn't. It was true that Asuma had recommended his team last week for the exams, or at least the remaining 2 members that were not Chunin. It was also true that he was looking for a 3rd member. What would most likely happen is that if she denied Kenjo's request now, he would go to the village council and get them on her ass for why she did not assign Shinji to a 2-man team that was in the process of looking for a 3rd member. It would be a major headache for her, one she did not want at this point. "So Hokage-sama, is it possible we could assign Shinji here with Yamanaka Ino and Nakamiki Kuji on Sarutobi Asuma's team?" pressed Kenjo. Tsunade gave in, not wanting to get the council on her case. "Very well, I will speak with Asuma and arrange for a few times for Shinji, Ino, and Kuji to meet and work on their teamwork. Speaking of which, Shinji, for that team, teamwork is the most important attribute, do you understand me? If you are to join that team, then you must show that you can work well with Ino and Kuji." "I understand, Hokage-sama. I'll try my best to find my place on that team," said Shinji. He and his father gave Tsunade a quick bow before leaving the office. "Asuma's going to hate me," thought Tsunade. Damn it, why does he not have to be on a mission today? And to make it worse, Bakken said she's got a mission that will take me all of these next few weeks, so I won't get to see her until then. And even then, everyone's going to be focused on the upcoming Chunin exams. And it's even starting to get late. I guess I could get training, but it won't be anything like if I were to have an entire day, thought Naruto, dragging himself towards the training grounds. "Naruto." Naruto heard a familiar voice coming from behind him. He turned around to see his pink-haired teammate hastily walking towards him. "Sakura? What are you doing here?" asked Naruto. "Wait, did you cut your hair or something?" Sakura looked at Naruto, a little confused, but then realized that Naruto hadn't seen her new haircut. She had it only at about neck length now, instead of mid-back length. "Oh yeah. I did. I actually kind of like it. Honestly, I only grew it out as a way to get Sasuke's attention, but I figured I should worry about my shinobi training before worrying about growing my hair. Anyways, I just got done with my work for today. Tsuan Shiso let me off early because she said she had a mission for me tomorrow," said Sakura. "Huh? Really? She said she had a mission for me as well. Do you think we are on the same mission?" asked Naruto. "Well, I would suppose. I mean, we are on the same team. Hey, speaking of which, have you seen Sasuke at all? There are some rumors going around about his disappearance around the same time you left with Jiraiya-sama. Something about leaving with a snake pedophile or something?" said Sakura. "Huh? Someone spreading rumors about Sasuke leaving for Orochimaru?" asked Naruto. "That would never happen. I mean, you were there when we fought with Orochimaru's freaks. In what world would Sasuke ever betray us for that snake?" "Yeah, don't remind me. Watching Sasuke nearly die, even if he was trying to save me, is not something I want to remember. Besides, my side is still slightly sore from that," said Sakura, clasping a hand over her left ribcage. "So anyways, what have you been up to?" Naruto looked surprised at Sakura. For once, she was showing a hint of interest in what he had been doing. "You know, traveling with Uro-sennin, training and finding out about my ancestors," said Naruto. "Ancestors?" Sakura looked at Naruto with a bewildered look on her face. This was the first time Naruto had ever referred to family. As far as they knew, he was an orphan with no family since he was born. "Yeah, Uro-sennin and I went to Uzumaki and there he taught me about Fuinjutsu and my ancestors. I even found out who my mother—" Naruto stopped there. Uro-sennin had said he could discuss his mother, but he couldn't talk about his father. That would still need to remain a secret. "Your mother?" asked Sakura. "Yeah, she was really beautiful and had long red hair. And I heard she was one hell of a kunoichi," said Naruto. Naruto told Sakura a few other things he heard about his mother, leaving out the Jinchuriki part. "Wow. That's great that you found out about your mother and that she turned out to be who she was. So did you learn anything about your father?" asked Sakura. Naruto slightly panicked. In truth, he wanted to tell everyone. He wanted everyone to know he was the Yondaime's son. He wanted to see the look on every villager's face. It would be like the ultimate prank on the village. But he promised Jiraiya he wouldn't say anything. "No, I still can't find anything on my father. My mother was orphaned as a baby when Uzumaki was destroyed and she was brought to the village as a young child, so my father was probably a ninja of this village at some point in time, but I don't know who he was," said Naruto, doing his best to act sad and depressed. "Naruto, I'm sorry for bringing that up," apologized Sakura. "It's okay, Sakura. I'm just happy I know who my mom is," said Naruto, giving her a grin. "So what have you been up to this past month?" "Oog, don't ask. Tsunade Shishu is an excellent teacher, but there's just so much. I've been spending practically every day from dawn until dusk studying everything there is on medicine. I swear I spend more time studying now than I ever did back in the academy, but it's been worth it. My chakra control's gotten so much better and she's even begun to teach me some actual medical ninjutsu," replied Sakura. "Wow, that's great," exclaimed Naruto. "It sounds like you're going to be ready for the upcoming exams." "I hope so. I think I've finally found what I'm good at, something that won't make me a burden to the two of you," said Sakura, trailing off. "Sakura, you've never been a burden. What made you think that?" asked Naruto. "Well, to be honest, you and Sasuke have always been getting stronger and stronger at a pace that I thought I could never catch. And then against those sound freaks, I wasn't able to do much besides nearly get Sasuke killed," said a depressed Sakura. "Nonsense, if it wasn't for you, I might have been seriously hurt there," said Naruto. Sakura picked her head up and looked at him. "I knew that six-armed guy had me trapped and I wouldn't have been able to free myself in time if it wasn't for your genjutsu. So thank you for that. You're not a burden, you were just missing what you were really good at and I think you've found it. You're going to get really strong, I know it. So strong that everyone, even Sasuke, will have to take notice," said Naruto, offering Sakura the Niskai pose. "Naruto, thank you. I'm giving up on being one of Sasuke's fangirls," Sakura said. Naruto looked at her confused. "But that doesn't mean you should give up on Sasuke," said Naruto. "I'm not. I'm just taking a note from you and Hinata," said Sakura, earning a questioning look from Naruto. "The two of you have been there for each other. supporting each other and helping one another no matter what life has thrown at you, and you ended up together. I'm not giving up on Sasuke, but being one of his fangirls has done nothing but hinder my ninja training. I think that's what he wants, someone who is themselves and can help him, not hold him back. So that's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be a kick-ass medical ninja and do whatever I can to truly help him. It's kind of a win-win. And if you need any help from me, don't be afraid to ask. I've held you back as well, and I'm done doing so. Naruto couldn't help but smile at Sakura's newfound resolve. That is until she began talking again. Now, about you, Fuinjutsu? You? Seriously, what have you been up to this past month? What? No really, I've been studying Fuinjutsu, said Naruto. Come on, Naruto. Fuinjutsu is even more scholarly than medicine, and I've never seen you as the scholarly type, argued Sakura. What is wrong with everyone? First Shizune and now you. Why doesn't everyone believe I'm learning Fuinjutsu? Asked a pouting Naruto. Not to mention the furball inside my head. I swear I couldn't get him to stop laughing the entire trip. I'll even show you, watch. Naruto pulled out a scroll and began to scribe a more advanced storage seal. He took his own equipment and Sakura's equipment and sealed them within the scroll. Sakura just stared in awe. Naruto wasn't lying about the Fuinjutsu part. He really could make his own seals. I've only started my training and can only do storage seals and explosive seals, but Hirusenin even said that's pretty advanced for someone who's only been studying it for a month. Oh, that reminds me, are you eventually going to learn medical seals? Yeah, Shishu told me she would begin teaching me once I've mastered a few more medical jutsu. Why? Asked Sakura. Because my great-grandfather had a lot of seals that he passed on to me, and I think some of them were medical seals. I can take a look through them and give them to you if you want. I'm sure you could find them useful, said Naruto. Really? Are you sure? I mean, those are your family's seals, said Sakura. If this wasn't Naruto, she would be in disbelief for someone offering her advanced Uzumaki seals. Even she had heard of the sealing prowess of the Uzumakis. She supposed that's why Naruto was actually good at sealing, because his last name was Uzumaki. Yeah. I mean, you would have more use for them. I might be learning Fuinjutsu, but I don't think medical seals are my specialty. I might look into them, but nowhere near the extent you will, said Naruto. With that, Naruto left to try and get in some training for the day on his new Winjutsu. Sakura looked on as Naruto left. She couldn't help but feel jealous about a lot of things that involved Naruto. Team Guy was the only other team in the Konoha 13 that was still in Konoha. Team 8 and Team 10 were both on missions, and Team 7 was still considered disbanded. Guy had been pushing his team to the bone to prepare them for the upcoming Chunin exams, which they would also be participating in. Unfortunately for Neji, Lee, and Tenten, Guy had turned these Chunin exams into another competition with Kakashi. The winner would be the teacher with the most students to be promoted Chunin from the exams. As such, he had been spending as much free time working with and preparing his team. Of course, for Neji and Tenten, this meant workouts that, in all reality, only Lee could keep up with. However, all three of them were determined to do their best until the Chunin exams so that they would all be promoted. That was the goal all three of them had set, was to see that they finally made Chunin, and make their sensei or families proud of them. When the workout for the day came to an end, Neji and Tenten found the two of them collapsed on the ground, completely exhausted. Lee, on the other hand, was still bouncing off of trees as he was finishing his self-imposed part of the workout. Neji, I don't think I can get up, grunted Tenten. Her entire body was sore and exhausted. Neji managed to get to his feet, although still a little shaky. He then offered a hand to Tenten and helped her up, having to help support her so her legs wouldn't give out from exhaustion. Gai-sensei's really been overworking us, hasn't he? Yes, but I agree with him that we need to be ready for these exams. From what I understand, the Kumo exams are different from our own, said Neji. Tenten asked why, and Neji answered. From what I've been told, there are more people in these exams, and as such, the tests are more demanding as a result. Of course we will all do fine, but a little preparation never hurt. Tell that to my legs, arms, and back, replied Tenten. This actually earned a rare laugh from Neji. Gai-sensei may be a little extreme, but he truly does care for our progress and he truly wants to see us succeed, said Neji. If a little hard work means a promotion, then I would gladly run laps on my hands with Lee before sunrise. What's gotten into you, Mr. Fate determines everything? Joked Tenten. Ever since the first exams, you've been more open to working for things and less into fate and everything. It's like Lee's brushed off on you. Naruto, huh? Asked Tenten. What about Naruto? He's the one who opened my eyes for once. He showed me the truth of believing in oneself. He and Lee are alike in that respect, and it took a little bit of what Naruto gave me to get Lee back to the point he's at now, said Neji. Why, do you ask? Is there something wrong with me? No, just that you've changed quite a lot over the past months. I kind of like it, said Tenten, blushing slightly. You've become more respectful, stronger, and even a bit more handsome. Huh? What was that last part? Asked Neji. Oh, nothing really, said Tenten, laughing that last comment of and trying to hide her blush. A minute or two later, the two arrived at Tenten's father's shop and they went their separate ways. Neji arrived back at the Hyuga compound where his uncle was waiting for him. Neji, we need to talk about something, said Hiyashi. He led his nephew to his study. What is it you need to talk to me about, uncle? Asked Neji. There are a few things I need to discuss. All of them revolving around the upcoming Chunin exams, said Hiyashi. As you know, the exams are at Kumagakure no Sato. I hate to bring this up, but you remember the incident 9 years ago regarding Kuma and our clan? Neji didn't want to remember, but he did. That was the incident that had taken his father from him as a boy. He had forgiven the main branch as he learned the real reason why his father was offered to Kumo in Hiyashi's place, but he still hadn't forgiven Kumo. While they may have agreed not to take any action towards trying to steal the Byakugan, I still don't quite trust them. You think they could target Hinata? Asked Neji. I do. Normally, I would not have allowed her to participate in these exams, but she personally requested that I allow her to compete a few weeks ago. She's becoming more confident with herself, ever since she and Naruto began spending more time together. Last Chunin exam, interrupted Neji. Yes. And as seen from her last spar with Hanabi, it's still a fragile confidence. I couldn't afford to break it by refusing her request to participate. Not to mention, she needs as many opportunities to prove herself to the elders. If she can make Chunin at these exams, it will help sway the elders in her favor, said Hiyashi. At least enough to give her some more breathing room with them. They are still coming onto her pretty hard, aren't they? Asked Neji. Yes. I'm afraid that no matter how strong she may find she can become, she will always be seen as weak by them for being kind and gentle. The elders favor a strict leader who can keep the traditional values of the clan in line, the type of person I fear they are manipulating Hanabi into, said Hiyashi. Well, isn't there anything we can do? Asked Neji. For you, just keep an eye out for Hinata. The two of you have grown closer and she sees you as an older brother. If there is anyone in the clan she trusts, it's you. Just do what you can to help her. I want her to become the person this clan deserves as a leader. One who is strong, yet kind and fair. Besides, I'm sure you won't be alone with this. I'm certain Naruto would help you if you simply ask. I'm glad that he finally saw my daughter's true feeling for him, said Hiyashi. Uncle, about that, I have a great deal of respect for Naruto. But there is a lot about him that is still a mystery. In particular, why you have had no opposition to him dating Hinata-sama, said Neji. I hate to sound like this, but Naruto's an orphan, whose heritage is unknown except for the fact that he came from some family in the Uzumaki clan. He's been hated by the village for, well how do I put this? Hiyashi sighed. So you know, don't you? Asked Hiyashi. Neji nodded. How did you find out? It during our fight months ago. When he called upon that weird chakra. I knew I felt it before, even if it was a long time ago. And then, I saw it, with my Byakugan. It was. Neji was hushed by Hiyashi. It still is forbidden to speak about that, said Hiyashi. I am sorry, uncle, I didn't mean to, said Neji. No matter, the question now is, how do you feel about Naruto after knowing that? Asked Hiyashi. I sincerely regret what I said to him back in the exams. It explains a lot about him and I never expected him to have to bear such a burden. I actually find myself respecting him more for it, said Neji. But why him? Why burden him with that fate? Neji, no matter how powerful a shinobi the Yondaime was, it was the only way to save the village, said Hiyashi. I should know, we were on a team together. I don't wish to speak on this matter anymore. Just know that Naruto is doing what must be done to keep the village safe, even if the village hates him because of it. This was never the way things were supposed to work out for Naruto. But there is nothing that can be done to change the past. Regardless of what should have happened, it has helped make him the person he is right now. If you need any help with my daughter, I'm sure he'll be more than willing to assist. I agree and I could use all the help I can get. An unsealed Byakugan in the middle of Kumagakure no Sato is like throwing a single piece of candy into a daycare full of 5-year-olds, said Neji. Two unsealed Byakugans, said Hiyashi. Neji didn't like where this was going. I thought you said he wasn't ready for these exams, said Neji. I don't think he is. He doesn't understand anything about what this village and these exams are about, but his father must have pulled some strings and somehow, Shinji ended up filling the final spot on Team Asuma, explained Hiyashi. Neji practically cursed in his head. Shinji was most definitely seen as a main branch Hyuga, with the arrogance and pull up his ass to go along with the title. If it wasn't for Kuji and Ino, Neji would most certainly try to ensure Shinji didn't pass. Even so, Shinji was the last person Neji wanted to face in combat. Neji's skills were far above Shinji, but there was one thing that was deferring his actions, the seal. "Uncle, what is the progress on?" Asked Neji, secretly. Jiraiya-sensei's efforts have opened a few possibilities, but the solution is still far away and both of us doubt that the removal seal will be available before the exams are over, said Hiyashi. Neji sighed. He would have to play obedient branch member around Shinji now. Hinata and Hiyashi were the only main branch members who ever showed him some respect and kindness. For that, he was grateful, but the way the rest of the main family was treating the branch was still drying his patience. "I am sorry, but I must ask you to look out for both Hinata and Shinji while at the exam." "I have no problem with Hinata-sama, but Shinji." Neji stopped himself before some colorful words could manifest themselves in the relatively clean mind of the Hyuga prodigy. "I will do my best, uncle. If anything for you and Hinata-sama." Neji stood up and exited the room, a myriad of thoughts swirling around in his head now after that discussion. Naruto and Sakura were inside Tsunade's office the following morning. They had been right in the fact that they were being given this mission together. However, they were still waiting for one more member of the team. After a few minutes of waiting, the final member of their team finally showed up in a flash of green that burst through the door. "Konoha's green beast, reporting for duty, Hokage-sama," said Lee, causing Naruto and Sakura's sweat to drop a bit. "I guess this means we are going on a mission with bushy brows," said Naruto to Sakura. "Looks like it," she responded. "Good, now that the three of you are here, I can begin the mission briefing," addressed Tsunade. Naruto, Sakura, and Lee lined up in front of the "We've received a mission request from a band of merchants, requiring an escort from Richigo Town, in the western regions of the Land of Fire, to the Land of Greens. You three are to rendezvous with the caravan and provide protection for them on their journey to the Land of Greens. You are expected to encounter nothing more than common bandits and a possible low Genin level ninja or two, something I think you all can handle. But Bakken, I've gotta train. I still need to get this jutsu down and prepare for the upcoming exams," complained Naruto. "Naruto, you've had all month to train and you'll have 2 whole years to train after you leave with Jiraiya, so you've got to contribute to the village somehow while you're here. Besides, I need a team to send Lee on a mission since Hyuga Hiyashi has pulled Neji for some clan business and Tenten has been admitted to the hospital with multiple stress fractures in her legs and arms, most likely courtesy of Guy's extreme workouts." "Huh? No offense Tsunade-sama, but why do I specifically have to go on a mission?" asked Lee. "Because, ever since your surgery, you've had plenty of rehabilitation and training, but no mission work. I need to be sure that you can resume mission duties before I clear you for these exams," said Tsunade. Lee nodded. "Any other complaints?" Everyone was silent. "Good. Sakura, I am appointing you the leader of the mission. This will be classified as a C rank and I expect this mission will take around a week and a half's time. When you return, depending on the success of your mission, I'll give the three of you the rest of the time before the exam to prepare." "Dismissed," ordered Tsunade. "Are you sure?" "I am, Hokage-sama. Reports just confirmed the presence of a small militant group operating in the area surrounding the Land of Greens," said an Anbu scout. Tsunade reached into her desk and pulled out a map. The Anbu pointed to region in the northeastern part of the Land of Greens. "Our scouts report that to be the rebel-controlled area. Do we have any teams operating in that area?" Tsunade grunted a little. "We have a team of Genin escorting a merchant caravan to the capital of the Land of Greens. If I'm correct, they will pass just south of the rebel-controlled area. But that doesn't mean that they won't come into contact with them. Once they make it to the capital, they should be safe." "But, Hokage-sama, how long before the caravan should reach the rebel-controlled region?" asked the Anbu. "Perhaps we could send support." Tsunade let out a little sigh. "I wish I could do that, but if they are on schedule, they will reach that area by late morning tomorrow. It would be at least a 4-day journey to reach them and by then they'll be at the capital, hopefully." "Hokage-sama, is there anything you can do? The ninja assigned to the caravan are merely Genin after all," said the Anbu. "As much as I would wish to, it's a little too late now. Besides they are only escorting merchants, it's not like they are escorting the daimyo of the Land of Greens or anything. Do you have anything to report on the rebel group?" asked Tsunade. "Hi. Initial reports show the rebel group to be roughly 3 dozen in size. Most of them have minimal shinobi training," said the Anbu. This reassured Tsunade. Common bandits were something Naruto, Sakura, and Lee could dispatch with ease. What the Anbu said next though didn't help. "However, we believe their leaders to be the 3 Kurabachi." "What?" shouted Tsunade, slamming her fist into the desk and cracking it in two. Shizune, who was also in the office, sighed. "Tsunade-sama, Who are the three Kurabachi? Asked Shizune. Kurabachi Tsugi, Richi, and Miki. They are members of the former Kurabachi clan of Iwagakure who fled after a failed attempt to overthrow the Tsuchikage. The scary part is that they came insanely close to accomplishing their goal. All three of them are Jonin-level ninja who possess a rare and unique bloodline, said Tsunade. What? Now it was Shizune's turn to be surprised. What bloodline exactly do they have? If I'm correct, it's known as the Magnet Release. It's a powerful bloodline that allows them to control anything that is iron. They were a dangerous force that nearly cost us big in Second Shinobi World War if it wasn't for the Yondaime, said Tsunade. But Tsunade-sama, if they're that dangerous, then we have to pull Naruto, Sakura, and Lee out immediately, advised Shizune. I know. The best we can do is hope that Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke don't even come into contact with them. After all, they are only escorting a merchant caravan, said Suwant. And if they do, by chance come into contact with the Kurabachi? Asked Shizune. Tsunade sighed again. Then we hope that they can make it out alive. There's no way support will reach them in time. But just in case, Dragon form a support squad and rendezvous with the team assigned to the Land of Greens immediately. Hi, Hokage-sama. We'll leave by the end of the hour, said the Anbu before leaving. Tsunade-sama? Said Shizune. Damn it, she said before chucking half of her already broken desk out of the window. Be safe, Naruto. That same evening, the caravan that Naruto, Sakura, and Lee were assigned to escort had stopped for the evening. There were some elderly members of the caravan, meaning that they couldn't keep going through the night. Hey Naruto, what are you doing? Asked Sakura. Naruto had been on top of the cart, fiddling with something. Huh? Oh, I'm just working with a seal or two, replied Naruto. Sakura chuckled a little and Naruto shot her a confused look. Sorry, I still don't see you as the Fuinjutsu, but it looks like you actually know what you're doing. So what are you doing anyways? Well, I've been thinking of sealing my kunai and shuriken in a seal instead of carrying them. But I'm not sure what to seal them in. I could just use a scroll, kind of like Tenten, but that doesn't feel like it would be easy enough to do so, said Naruto. Well, is this the seal? Asked Sakura, taking a look at what Naruto had written on the scroll in front of him. Yeah. I've got it to work, but I'm not sure what to do with it exactly, said Naruto. He placed his hand over the seal and instantly 4 shuriken appeared in his hand. I can control the number of shuriken with the amount of chakra I channel into the seal, but I still don't quite know where to put it. Well, why don't you get a pair of bracers and put the seal over your wrist or something? Or even a pair of gloves. In fact, I think I saw a few pairs of gloves in the carts. Maybe they have some you could use, said Sakura. Really? Thanks, Sakura, said Naruto before running off to check with the merchants. Naruto found one of the merchants and they did in fact have a few gloves in their cart that they were selling. Naruto found a few pairs of fingerless gloves with steel plates on the backside. They were similar to the gloves that Kakashi wore, except they extended up the arms a few inches, just enough for Naruto to put a seal on the bottom side of the wrist. And best of all, they came in a variety of colors, including orange and pink. Shortly after he returned to the top of the cart he was working upon and showed Sakura his findings. Hey Sakura, you want a pair? Said Naruto, holding up a pair of pink gloves, identical to the pair of orange gloves he had gotten hold of. Really? Said a slightly surprised Sakura. Yeah, the seal's not really that hard to make and I already bought the gloves. All I need are a few of your shuriken that you want sealed, said Naruto. Actually could you seal Senbone for me? Asked Sakura. Senbone? Have you been spending too much time with Haku? Joked Naruto. Well, while I was training with Tsunade Shishu, Shizune Shinpai and Haku taught me how to poison and use Senbone. I felt those would be a better weapon for me, said Sakura, pulling out a pouch that she kept at her side. When she opened it, Naruto paled at the sight of so many needles inside the bag. The plain ones are just that, plain. The blue ones are a type of sleeping agent. Let me guess, the black ones have the toxic poison that kills, right? Interrupted Naruto. Nope, the pink ones are the ones that kill. The black ones are a paralysis toxin, said Sakura. Naruto just looked at her. What? I don't like people thinking pink is only a girly color. So could you by chance seal my Senbone for me? Naruto snapped out of his little trance. Yeah, I could. But I'll need a little bit longer to make a different seal to separate the different Senbone, said Naruto. I mean, if it's too big of a problem, then you don't have to, said Sakura. Don't worry Sakura, it's not a problem. I just need to make a slightly different seal, but it's nothing hard, said Naruto. Now, why don't you get some sleep? I'll take the first shift and wake bushy brows in about 3 hours. Okay then, good night Naruto, said Sakura before turning in for the night. You've really changed, Naruto. I can only imagine what you'll be like when you come back from your trip with Jiraiya-sama. I wonder how much Sasuke's changed as well?" The caravan set off the next morning. Naruto had managed to take a seat on top of one of the carts as he was just putting the finishing touch on the sealed gloves he was making for Sakura and himself. He had offered one for Lee, but sadly Lee informed him that using seals was not within his reach as well, but thanked Naruto for the offer anyways. When the gloves were done, Sakura noticed that they were pretty easy to operate. All she had to do was channel and guide chakra into a certain part of the seal and she could call upon the desired senbone. With a little bit of practice, summoning the proper type of senbone from the gloves would be second nature. "Sakura, do you notice that something is up with these merchants?" whispered Lee. "Yeah, I've noticed. They're tense, like they're expecting something big to happen," replied Sakura. She looked up at Naruto and received a nod from him. Why are these guys so tense and anxious? And then there's that Shun. Something seems off about him. Wait, why is it I can all of a sudden feel this?" thought Naruto. "I can explain that," said Kurama. Naruto listened for the answer. The term Jinchuriki refers to a living human sacrifice. In short, you sacrifice your body's and ambitions at a normal like to contain a bijou, like me. However, with all sacrifices, you get something in return. As a result, Jinchuriki develop a few abilities that are unique between the containers. The abilities you gain depend on the tailed beast sealed inside you and how much of our chakra you have been exposed to. When that pervert loosened the seal Inuzu, you gained access to the second ability you get for being a Jinchuriki. Wait? I get abilities with being a Jinchuriki? And what do you mean by this is my second ability? Are you saying I've already got an ability and can I get more? Asked Naruto. Slow down, kid. Every Jinchuriki has one thing in common and that's a large chakra reserve, due to having our chakra sealed inside you. At the same time, if the human and demon cooperate, then the Jinchuriki becomes practically immune to any attempts on having their chakra system controlled, such as Genjutsu. Now, every Jinchuriki gains unique abilities based on the bija sealed inside them. For example, the reason your friend Gaara can control the sand is because of that damned raccoon. As for you, your first ability for me has been your increased healing factor. Okay, we already talked about this. So how exactly powerful is this healing factor of mine? Asked Naruto. Well, you already know you can heal broken bones in less than a day's time. However, if my chakra is focused on the area of injury, the rate of healing rivals even that of the Slug Princess's mitotic regeneration. In that sense, you would even be able to heal injuries like getting stabbed in the heart, so long as something like getting decapitated or your heart completely ripped out doesn't occur. Wow. Really? Exclaimed Naruto. Yes, now just don't do something idiotic and get carried away. Just because I said there is a chance you may survive, doesn't mean that you necessarily will. Anyways, now you're just realizing the second ability and that is what is known as negative emotion sensing. Basically, it allows you to sense when there is some sort of tension between people and it also lets you know when someone's intending to kill someone. While not in the same sense as your little vixen's sensing abilities with her eyes, it is still a powerful sensory ability. Ah. I see, so that's why I can sense the tension between these merchants. But wait, why couldn't I do something like this until now? Asked Naruto. Because this ability required our chakras to be more intertwined, which is what happened when that pervert loosened the seal, explained Kurama. Now, the last thing that I know you have is access to my elemental affinity, fire, but I thought my affinity was wind, said Naruto. Geez, you can be dense at times. Your affinity is wind, mine is fire. As such, you have a pretty strong fire nature, although it is not quite as strong as your wind nature, since that was discovered as the dominant nature. Wow, so you're saying I can learn cool fire jutsus like Sasuke? Asked Naruto. Yep. But not now, I sense something coming. On top of one of the wagons, Naruto instantly snapped to attention, heading his inhabitants' warnings. Sakura and Lee soon followed in before they knew it. A group of roughly 20 bandits had surrounded the caravan. Hand over the princess now, and we'll let you go, demanded one of the bandits. Princess? We don't have any princess, replied a confused Lee. Stop playing dumb, said the bandit, pointing towards Shun. Her. Now hand her over before we decide to kill you all. Shun glared angrily at the bandit and one of the other merchants came up to her. Haruno-sama, please take cover under the carts and we'll take care of these thugs, said one of the merchants. The three-leaf Shinon were still trying to make heads or tails of the entire situation before the bandits expired their offer and attacked. Naruto, Sakura, Lee, and two of the merchants quickly engaged the bandits. It became clear instantly that these weren't common bandits, and Sakura quickly figured that they had some form of shinobi experience, although they didn't appear to be much more than low Jonin level. Lee had just dodged a slash of a sword when his leg sent a bandit flying back into a tree, breaking the poor tree and knocking the bandit unconscious. "Konoha Senpu," Lee shouted as he launched two sweeping kicks at a pair of bandits, knocking them out as well. "My flames of youth are burning brightly today, PHFT. Like a little pink-haired girl's going to be able to do anything," mocked one of the bandits that Sakura was facing. This only served to tick Sakura off, as she had enough of being considered useless. The bandits only continued their mocking of her before. "Shanaru," Sakura shouted before slamming her fist into one of the bandits' face, knocking him through several trees and leaving a shocked and paled look on the face of everyone who had just witnessed that. "What the hell has that Suan been doing with her?" asked Kurama. "I don't know, but remind me never to get on her bad side again," thought Naruto. "Well, it's been nice knowing you, kid. We both know you're going to piss her off at some point," responded Kurama. Sakura looked around at her teammates' expressions. "What? You think Tsunade Shishu has been teaching me only medical jutsu?" asked Sakura, who couldn't help but smile a little. While fine-tuning Sakura's chakra control, Tsunade had also taught the pink cat how to use bursts of chakra to greatly increase her strength. Naruto soon snapped out of his little trance. "Well, I guess now is as good of a time as any to give it a try." "Futon, great breakthrough," he shouted, taking a deep breath and mixing his chakra with the air in his lungs. When he unleashed it all, the 6 bandits he was facing were thrown off their feet and back several meters. "Yes. Looks like I'll be getting that B-rank jutsu when we get back." "Naruto, Sakura, your flames of youth burn even brighter than the last time I have had the pleasure of fighting with you. Come, let us finish off the remainder of these bandits with one last youthful bout," exclaimed Lee. When the battle was over, Naruto, Sakura, and Lee learned a few shocking truths. The first was that Uranojo and Kikuho were actually Land of Green's ninja who had a few special techniques that they called flower jutsu. However, the most surprising truth was that Shun was actually Princess Haruna of the Land of Greens. "We never can get just a normal C-rank mission, can we?" Naruto whispered to Sakura. This caused Sakura to chuckle a little. "Nope. I guess cranks that aren't what they seem are our specialty." Sakura then turned to the merchants. "So what exactly is going on here?" "When Haruna Haim was a child, there was an attempted coup on our country. Fearing for Haruna's safety, he offered her to foreign countries to secure the welfare of our nation. Her father passed away a few weeks ago and we need to get Haruna Haim to the capital to restore rule in the nation and to prevent another inevitable coup. From the looks of it, we need to hurry as they have already begun to move," said Uranojo. "Who are they?" asked Sakura. "They are known as the Kurabachi. They are 3 siblings who have been targeting our country for some time. All 3 are powerful ninja who we were hoping to avoid by disguising ourselves as a merchant caravan," said Uranojo. Sakura sighed. Her first mission after being ambushed by the Sound 4 of course had to involve them going up against 3 Jonin-level ninja, and that they were really escorting a princess instead of a simple merchant caravan. "You do realize that this is something we should have been told from the very beginning. If you would have mentioned that, you would have been assigned Jonin as protection instead of us 3 Jonin. We understand, but we need to maintain our cover and Jonin guards we fear would draw too much attention," said Kikuho. "Kikuho, Uranojo, we need to move," said Haruna, talking for the first time since her identity had been revealed. "But, Haruna-sama, what about the rest of the caravan?" asked Uranojo. "Just leave them. They'll just serve to slow us down. In fact, if one was to impersonate me, perhaps they could be used as a decoy while we make our way towards the capital," said Haruna. "What? But Haruna-sama, if we do that, we'll leave them unprotected from an attack if the Kurabachi decide to attack," said Uranojo. "So be it. If it means I can get back to the capital safely, then that sacrifice is worth it," said Haruna before receiving an orange-gloved fist to the cheek. "What the hell is your problem, lady?" shouted Naruto. "Naruto! Stop it," ordered Sakura. "But Sakura, you heard what she said," said Naruto. "I know. I hate to say that I agree that the rest of the peddlers would only slow us down and we need to move quickly now," said Sakura. "But that doesn't mean that we should just sacrifice them and leave them defenseless," argued Naruto. "I know that as well," Sakura said, while thinking for a moment. "Uranojo, Kikuho, can you watch after the peddlers and make sure they reach the capital safely? That way, my team and I can take Haruno-sama onward to the capital at a quicker pace." "But, what if they attack you? Surely you 3 can't take on a trio of Jonin-level ninja all by yourselves," said Uranojo. "I think we can, but we can't protect an entire caravan full of innocents if they do attack. They are most likely to attack the princess, not the caravan," said Sakura. "Sakura's right. It would be most unyouthful of them to target the merchants and distract us. Besides, I have faith that the three of us will be more than enough for the three of them, said Lee, giving the knee sky pose. Don't worry, we'll get Haruna to the capital, said Naruto, glaring at Haruna. And we'll do it without leaving the merchants unprotected. Naruto made a few shadow clones and left them with the merchants. If anything happened to the caravan, he would know, and the shadow clones could provide a little protection if they were attacked by any low-level bandits. The group that consisted of Sakura, Naruto, Lee, and Haruna had been making excellent time. To make things even better, Naruto had yet to receive any feedback from his clones, which meant that nothing had happened to the caravan. As it was, given another 2 hours of traveling and they would arrive at their destination, and Naruto would be rid of this cold-hearted princess who had suggested sacrificing the rest of the caravan to ensure that she got home safely. It was then that Naruto began to pick up on the presence of negative emotions quickly closing in on them. There were only 3 targets and he could tell that they already seemed to be rather powerful. There was no doubt about it, the Kurobachi ninja were upon them. Move, shouted Naruto as a hail of kunai and shuriken came sailing out of the trees towards them. Naruto and Sakura ducked to the side as Lee grabbed Haruna and jumped up into a tree. Well, it looks like couple of Jonin were able to dodge your attack after all, Richi. 3 ninja landed on a tree branch opposite from Lee. All 3 of them looked similar, dressed in dark purple sleeveless shirts and pants. They all had similar long brown hair and a look of arrogance on their faces. The only real differences were that one of them was obviously female while the other 2 were males. Now, hand over the princess, or do you want to turn out like the rest of your precious caravan? Sakura and Lee gasped while Naruto remained calm. He had gotten no feedback from his clones, so he was certain that they had not encountered any danger. Haruna on the other hand, remained unfazed and this managed to piss Naruto off a little. Don't you care what happened to your protectors? Your friends? Asked Naruto to Haruna. They were simply there to slow them down. I would have imagined that they would have held off these attackers longer, but it seems like I was mistaken, said Haruna. Bah. Cut the crap already. They were willing to do anything to protect you and all you do is look at them like they're worthless, said a frustrated Naruto. It doesn't matter as long as I make it back to the capital and can resume rule over this nation, said Haruna. The hell it does. Who are you going to look out for as a ruler if all you do is sacrifice them to protect yourself? A leader's supposed to put themselves before others and set an example, argued Naruto. You know what? Forget it. The caravan is still alive. Hey, I'm impressed you were able to see through my bluff without even so much as flinching, commented the other male Kurobachi, who was most likely Tsugi. Sakura and Lee let out a sigh of relief. I left clones back with the caravan. I would have known had they been attacked, explained Naruto. The only type of clones I know that are able to do that are shadow clones. An interesting jutsu for a Jonin to have, said Tsugi. But it does not matter, you still don't stand a chance against us. Wanna bet? Here's a little taste of my own Shuriken Storm. Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto unleashed a barrage of over 100 shuriken upon the 3 enemy ninja. To Naruto's surprise, the shuriken were stopped before they could reach their target. They weren't deflected, they were simply hovering in mid-air as Tsugi had his arm extended. An interesting technique, but still no match against us, said Tsugi. Jitten. Repulsion. Naruto and the team barely had time to move as a hail of shuriken descended upon them. Naruto created a few clones to act as a shield between the shuriken and Sakura and himself. Naruto, Sakura, shouted Lee. While Naruto's clone shield had taken care of most of the shuriken, a few had gotten through to the 2 members of Team 7. Thankfully though, the injuries weren't too severe, with the worst being a minor puncture wound that Sakura got to the side. Don't say we didn't warn you. You had your chance to hand over the princess and live, but I guess we'll just have to kill you now and then kill the princess, laughed Miki, the lone female member of the group. Lee jumped down from tree he was in, telling Haruna to take cover behind one of the trees, only for him to be stopped mid-air. Well, what do we have here? Asked Richi, taking particular interest in Lee. Feels like you've got something metallic in your legs. Damn. So it looks like he can use the jitten as well. To make things worse, the pieces of my staff that I have strapped to my legs are giving him control, thought Lee. Lee, shouted Sakura as she rushed to help her teammate. Now where do you think you're going, Pinky? Asked Miki, jumping down in front of Sakura. As a response, Sakura unsealed some of the senbon from the seals on her new gloves and sent them towards Miki. Like what had happened with Naruto's shuriken, Sakura's senbon were stopped mid-air. Ha, you really think metal weapons like that are going to work on us? With a flick of her wrist, Miki sent the senbon back towards Sakura, using the same repulsion jutsu that her brother had used against Naruto. Sakura panicked and managed to dodge all the senbon except one. Thankfully, she had not used the pink-tipped ones, but these were still the black-tipped ones. Even though one senbon worth of poison wouldn't completely paralyze her, she didn't have long before the poison would begin hindering her own movements. Naruto growled at Sugi, who just grinned. He grabbed a scroll from his side pocket and unsealed a couple dozen kunai from it, all of which were floating over his head and they were aimed at Naruto. Jitten. Metallic rain, Sugi declared as he sent the kunai hurling towards Naruto. Futon, great breakthrough. Naruto called out. He was hoping that the wind would be able to know the kunai away, but sadly Tsugi's control of the kunai was too great for a little gust of wind to overpower. Naruto barely dove out of the way of the oncoming hail of kunai, only to be hit with one or two knives in the legs, resulting in two rather large gashes. As he recovered, Naruto noticed the cloud of kunai circling around a tree and returning for another go at him. Naruto was soon on the run, dodging the continuous barrage of kunai with no time to form his own jutsu. After being flung around like a ball tethered to a post on a children's playground, Lee finally managed to unhook the fragments of a bow staff that he had strapped to his legs. To Richi's surprise, each foot-long section of the staff had to weigh 60 to 70 pounds each. It was a wonder the green-clad ninja could even move with them on his legs. As he was not comfortable with using a bow staff, he sent the fragments of Lee's staff flying away in 6 directions, nearly taking out Sakura with one of the fragments. He then proceeded to unseal his own weapons, a set of 6 long katanas. Like his brother, Richi could control these with his Jitten. Jitten, Dance of Blades. Lee found himself surrounded by 6 blades, dodging attack after attack as he was unable to escape the circle of swords that he found himself in. For Sakura, things weren't looking so good for her. She could already feel the effects of the poison on her system as her legs were beginning to slow down. Unlike her brothers, Miki's weapon was not sealed as she pulled out a rather long chain with razor-sharp barbs on it. Jitten, Steel Serpent. Miki called out as her chain seemed to come to life. It lashed out at Sakura, her impaired movement slowing her down to the point where the chain clipped her in the side as she stumbled back against a tree. Damn, it's just like last time, thought Sakura, back to the Sound 4 encounter. Like last time, she had been beaten into a corner and nearly killed, and now things weren't looking much different. Watching from behind a tree, Haruna was seriously beginning to worry. The 3 Genin that were assigned to protect her were not faring so well against their superior opponents. Once they were dead, nothing would stand in the way of the Kurobachi siblings from getting to her. She had to get away, now while the attackers were still distracted. She hopped down from the tree and began running away from the scene of the battle. This, however, did not go unnoticed to Naruto's opponent, Tsugi. The cloud of kunai that Tsugi had sailing towards Naruto was redirected towards Haruna, in an attempt to take her down before she could get away. By the time Naruto realized this, it was too late and the rain of kunai was quickly descending upon Haruna. Haruna-sama, blood was splattered across the road as the rain of kunai dug into flesh. Lee was finding it unyouthful to be dancing in and out of the blades that he was busy dealing with. If only he could find an opening, then perhaps he could get to his opponent. However, the swords were moving too fast for him to even be able to think about attacking. I need more speed. Even without my weights, I'm still too slow. I need to use the gates. 4 should do it. Please forgive me, Guy-sensei, thought Lee. He stopped his movements as Richi readied his swords for a swift and finishing blow. Gate of opening, open. Gate of healing, open. Gate of life, open. Gate of pain, open. Richi felt the burst of chakra come from Lee and knew he had to act quick or else he was in for trouble. He had all 6 swords attack Lee at once, but Lee disappeared before the swords could taste blood. Before Richi could react, he felt a swift kick hit him from beneath as he was sent flying into the air. Lee used the shadow of the dancing leaf to appear behind Richi as he wrapped the Jitten user in bandages, before beginning the high-speed descent back to Earth. Richi slammed into the ground, head first. His neck snapped and he died from the impact. Lee powered down just in time to watch Sakura finish off her opponent. Sakura was cursing herself for being put in this situation again. She was backed against a tree and her opponent was taking advantage of her injury as Miki readied for the final blow. The steel chain lashed out at Sakura. No. I will not let this happen again, shouted inner Sakura as Sakura regained some fire in her eyes. She grabbed the chain with one arm as it dug into her flesh. Ignoring the pain and the effects of the poison in her system, Sakura wrestled for control with Miki. When she gathered her chakra in her arms, she yanked on the chain with all her strength, uprooting Miki and sending the enemy Kunoichi sailing towards Sakura. This is it! Screamed Sakura as she cocked back her free fist. Shanaru. Sakura's fist made contact with Miki's face, unleashing an incredible amount of force. You could hear the bones shattering in Miki's skull as she was sent flying back, dead from the impact of Sakura's fist. As she collapsed to her knees from the effects of the paralytic poison and the exhaustion of using her chakra, Lee rushed to her side, catching before she could fall to the ground. "I've got you, Sakura," assured Lee. "Haruna-sama." Both Lee and Sakura turned their head towards the screaming as blood splattered across the ground. Expecting the worst, Haruna opened her eyes to see Kikuho standing over to her, pain in his eyes and blood coming out of his mouth. Sugi's attack had been blocked by Kikuho, who now had dozens of kunai lodged in his back. He collapsed to the ground as Haruna looked on in shock. Sugi growled at his failed attack and Naruto growled at Sugi. However, this gave Naruto his opening to take down Sugi. He turned around and dashed towards the last remaining Kurobachi, forming an orb of blue chakra in his hands. Sugi saw Naruto's attack coming too late as Naruto slammed the orb into Tsugi's chest. "Rasengan!" Naruto shouted as the Rasengan sheared away at his chest, sending him crashing into the forest. Naruto rushed over to where Lee and Sakura were running, the fallen Kikuho. By this time, the rest of the caravan had caught up and were in shock as well at Kikuho's sacrifice. "Haruna-sama," Kikuho coughed out. Kikuho said Haruna as she began to tear up. "I'm sorry, my Haim. But I did what I needed to ensure the rightful person reclaims the throne," said a weakening Kikuho. "No, please don't go," begged Haruna. "You've been with me for so long. I can't let you go." Haruna's heart was beginning to melt. Ever since she had left her home as a small child, Kikuho had always been there for her. Even when she was brooding about sacrifices being necessary for her survival, Kikuho had been one of the few, if not the only person who she actually trusted. "No, my Haim. I did what I had to and I sacrificed myself to ensure that you can lead our country onward," said Kikuho as his last few breaths slipped through his mouth. "Please, just make sure our country is safe, for me." With that, Kikuho left the world of the living. Haruna continued to cry as the team of Konoha ninja mourned the loss of one of their newer comrades. Unbeknownst to them, they didn't notice the movement of many of the kunai. Then they heard a maniacal laugh behind them. "Ha ha ha," laughed what looked like a possessed Sugi. He was coughing up blood and he would be dead in a few moments, however he wasn't going down alone. If he was going to die, he was taking someone else, hopefully Haruna, with him. "Now you've done it. Now you're going to die." Sugi gathered as many kunai as he could in front of him as Naruto growled at the enemy. "I've had enough of you and your damn knife rain," shouted Naruto as he pulled one of his dad's knives from his kunai pouch. He channeled wind chakra into it and threw it towards Tsugi. "Ha, your knife is useless against me, huh?" said Tsugi. Unfortunately for him, he found that he couldn't control the wind knife that Naruto had just thrown at him, and before he could do anything else, the knife shot clear through the middle of Tsugi's chest, finally killing him. Naruto turned around to see the caravan gathering around Kikuho's body. "I'm sorry," cried out Haruna, catching everyone's attention. "I'm sorry I've treated everyone like they mean nothing, that they are below me. I'm sorry. From now on, I'll put my people before me." Naruto just smiled at the change of heart the princess was having. The caravan continued underway, carrying Kikuho's body to its final place of resting and Haruna towards the throne that she would soon claim. "I thank you all for everything," said Haruna to the three Konoha ninja at the gate of the Land of Green's capital. "And I apologize if I may have come off as a bit of a heartless snob when we first met." "Nah, don't worry. You seem like you've changed, so everything is alright." "I am sorry about Kikuho though," said Naruto. "Thank you for that. He has received a hero's burial and I won't be dishonoring his wish for me to lead this country to greatness," assured Haruna. "We'll be going now. Thank you for everything, Haruna-sama, and you'll do great, I know it," said Sakura. "But if you need anything, you know who to ask," said Naruto. The three-leaf Genin departed for home after spending a few days to rest up and attending Haruna's coronation. It was a 3-day journey at a ninja's pace for them to arrive back in Konoha. "I'm relieved that the three of you are all right, and I'm impressed that the three of you took down the Kurobachi ninja," said Tsunade. "So were there any other developments on the mission?" Sakura told the details about the mission. "Given everything that has happened, the Land of Greens has agreed to upgrade this mission to a B rank, and I do congratulate you for everything that was accomplished. Lee, even after disobeying my order and using the gates, I feel you are fit to compete in the Chunin exam," said Tsunade. "Hi, Hokage-sama." "Thank you," said Lee. "Now, this is the first time the three of you have had to deal with this, but as there was a bounty on the heads of the Kurobachi trio, you will be awarded your shares of the bounty. However, village policy is that the village takes 30% of the bounty. The rest of it will be divided amongst the three of you," explained Tsunade. "Do you understand?" The three Genin nodded. What did you guys get into this time?" "Huh? Kakashi-sensei," exclaimed Naruto. Kakashi and Sasuke had walked into the Hokage's office. "Kakashi, you're late. I ordered you back a week ago," glared Tsunade. Kakashi just chuckled and came up with another ridiculous excuse. "Right, Naruto, Sakura, Sasuke, and Lee? You three are dismissed. I've got to take care of Kakashi's late ass, said Tsunade as Kakashi gulped. Before you leave, meet where we first met tomorrow at noon, said Kakashi. That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my other social media accounts. Anime God here, and I'm signing off.